Hey guys, Fixed Auto here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make your headlights go from this hazy, doesn't work very well, piece of crap, to looking like this. Not perfect, but 100 times better, and obviously light will shine through it way better to be able to see way more at night. Same thing for turn signals and whatnot. This is out of my project car, 2002 Ford Mustang. If you haven't seen my last video where I kind of do a quick once over of the project and apologize for not filming some of the work I've done to it already, go check it out. Link will be in the description. First of all, that sucks. This is cool. Let's go over what you need. I'm weird, get used to it. Basically, what I used is, let me sit down in my comfy chair here. You're going to need some wet sandpaper. See, it's wet or dry. This is 3M 600 grit, 2000 grit. That's what you need for sandpaper, and then you'll need a water source. I'm just using my bucket full of water. I'll like dip a rag in and kind of drench the headlight kind of thing. And then, so that'll be the first step, wet sanding. Second step, clear coat. This clear coat is non-yellowing and UV resistant. If you can, try and find something like that, because it'll make these stay and look like this a lot longer. Whereas if you find something that's not, because the UV resistance is what keeps the headlights from turning into this. Headlights turn into this because the clear coat that they have on them from the factory chips away from rocks and whatnot and just driving the vehicle around. And so that's why it yellows and fogs up like that. And then after you paint, you'll go over it again with the 2000 grit sandpaper again to get rid of all like the orange peeling and stuff that usually happens with spray painting. Then once we do that, we polish. I'm using Meguiar's Ultimate Compound. A compound from any other brand like Mother's or something would work as well. And then I'm using Meguiar's Ultimate Polish as well. And then you can use just a normal wax if you want. I've opted to go with Mother's CMX ceramic spray wax or spray coating, whatever you want to call it. I used this stuff on my 2021 F-150, and 6 months later, water still rolls off it like I waxed it yesterday. I will also be using a orbital polisher. If you do not have one of these, do not worry. Microfiber towels work just as good. Obviously, it'll be a little bit more elbow grease, but you can get the same exact results with just some microfiber towels. And then lastly, we'll need some alcohol to clean up the headlights in between steps, like in between painting and whatnot. But anyways, now that you know what it's going to look like when it's done, let's get started on that sucker. So I'm going to move this guy out of the way, throw him up on my bench here. Mind the mess, you know, car blown apart, messy, yeah. And we'll bring this guy over here. Now, I'm going to try and find a way to set my phone up that you can see what I'm doing. So I'll be right back once I figure out a way to do that. Alright, I'm back. Got my phone mounted up, using the phone mount out of my truck. So yeah, basically we're going to start sanding first. So grab 600 grit sandpaper. I like to rip it in half. Now we got a smaller piece to work with. Then microfiber towel, dip it in water. Take sandpaper, dip it in the water too. Or if you have a hose or spray bottle, whatever. And then, first of all, I'm just going to kind of wipe the headlight down, get any dirt, anything like that off of it. You can hear how rough a headlight is just with me wiping it. Okay, wipe down, take the rag again, just kind of headlight wet, sandpaper, water. You want to do circular motions, kind of over the whole headlight, circular motions. I forgot to mention earlier on, if your headlight is harder to remove out of the car, you can do this on the car too. You're just going to have to tape it off so you don't scratch paint. Obviously, these headlights are super easy to remove, so I have them off. You see how all this milky stuff's coming off? That's all the oxidation coming off of the lens of the headlight. Just going to sand until all of that's gone. Keep in mind, the better job you do sanding, the better it'll come out. And keep adding water. Sorry about that. Anyways, still sanding. Then your final sand, you want it to be horizontal, make it easier for the paint to grab. We're going to do this with the 2000 grit as well. And take a rig, you just wipe it off. See if there's any left. I think we still got some oxidation on there, so as you can see here, most of the oxidation's off. It has a haze from sanding, that's normal. I have to do a little bit more kind of at the top, and then obviously I have to do this side of the headlight too. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of that off camera. I'll come back once I have it all completely sanded. Okay, I'm back, got it all sanded. See, it's all kind of a uniform haze. If it's a headlight like this where part of it sits under the hood, you're going to probably have some sort of line like that. Don't worry, that'll come out in upcoming steps. So next step, same thing, except 2000 grit sandpaper. Circular motions over the whole headlight, and then horizontal to finish up, because that'll help our paint, which is the step right after this, cover up. But before you do the 2000, what I would highly suggest doing is grabbing your alcohol and a clean microfiber towel, fresh out of the package here, and just give the headlight a good kind of wipe, because 2000 grit sandpaper is way finer than 600, so any metal or plastic material that's left over on the headlight from the 600 could easily clog up 200 grit. So just give it a nice wipe, make sure it's all nice and clean. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do my 2000 grit. Like I said, exact same as the 600 grit, circular motions. And then once you're satisfied with it, nice, smooth, uniform, horizontal across the whole headlight, because that'll help clear coat, not stick to it and not run down and make it look super ugly. I will be back after I get that done. Yeah. Alright, so I'm back. I just got done my 2000 grit sanding. So the headlight here, again, nice uniform haze, just a little bit finer scratches, and all the scratches, probably hard to see on the camera, are horizontal from that last horizontal sand. So now we're going to do another alcohol wipe before painting. Do that. And just wipe the whole headlight down, get all the sanding residue off, any dirt or fingerprints that might have landed on the headlight. This headlight actually has a crack in it, I just noticed. But oh well, we've already gone this far. I don't know how well it'll show up on camera, but right here, there's a crack that goes right there. You can see the crack there. Oh well. So now just let it evaporate, which should take a couple seconds. Alcohol evaporates pretty quick. Ooh, pardon me. We'll still need our 2000s. So put that up here. Ready, away. Alrighty, so now it's all evaporated. Headlight's nice and clean now. We're gonna grab our clear coat. We're gonna do 3 mist coats. You don't want to do heavy coats because then it'll run and it'll look ugly. So mist coats with probably 5 minutes in between. Just lost the vent off of it. Over here. Alright, vent's back on. Now I dip the headlight in some water. Clean this up a little bit. Okay, so now our painting. We're going to do, like I said, 3 coats, mist coats, not too heavy or else it will run and just ruin it. So make sure you shake up your paint. Then even mist coats, so it's all you want. Oh, wasp. Sorry, there's wasps flying around in here. Alright, that's all you want to do. It's not going to look perfect after the first coat. It's not going to look perfect even when we're done painting it because we'll have to wet sand it. But that's all you want to do. 3 coats just like that. So I'm going to wait 5 minutes, then we'll come back and I'll do another coat. So I will see you in 5 minutes. Alright, it's been 5 minutes, so another coat. Again, just a light mist coat. That's all you want to do. Just a light mist. Okay, again, wait 5 minutes, mist coat, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Alright, 3rd coat, pretty self-explanatory at this point. Alright, so now that we have our 3 coats on, we are going to let it sit for probably an hour. I think it says on the can an hour to cure. Tries to touch 20 minutes and to handle an hour and fully cure in 24 hours. I'm going to let it sit for an hour, and if it seems good enough, I'm going to sand it in an hour. Because that's what I did with the other headlight, and it came out fine. So yeah, I'm gonna let it sit for an hour, and I'll be back with the next step, which is back to sanding with 2000 grit wet sanding to get rid of the orange peel. So we're gonna hold this up so you can see it looks pretty good, but if you look really close, you can see all the orange peel in it. So we're gonna sand it to get rid of that orange peel, and then do our polish to polish it up to a nice shine like the other headlight. Like, if I bring this one over here, right up close to the camera. See, it still has a little bit of a haze to it, but it's way better than the other one that I just brought up there. But if you want, you can stop at this step. You just have to live with the orange peel in the headlights. I don't want to live with the orange peel, so I'm going to sand it and polish it. But anyways, like I said, I'll be back in an hour once this is cured. Alrighty, so it's been about an hour, a little over an hour. Paint is dry. But as you can see, all the orange peel in it. So what I'm going to do, 2000 grit, I'm going to clean it off first. Clean it off, grab another rag, put that in the water, headlight wet, and then just lightly, circular motions just like before. Do the lights and get rid of the orange peel. Still got a little more to do. Basically all you're doing is trying to get rid of the orange peel. You're trying to get it to a nice uniform haze, kind of like it was before. Sorry if my arm is in the way there for most of that. There. Maybe a little bit more kind of down this corner. Just like that. Might even have to do a little bit more of it. It's just a nice haze again. Still gotta do over here, obviously. But same thing as before, it's just now you don't want to sand too far. You don't want to go through the paint. So I'm going to go ahead and finish sanding the headlight, and I'll come back when I'm ready for the polish step. Okay, finished sanding. You can see we got a nice even haze kind of across the whole headlight. So now is polish time. Meguiar's Ultimate Compound is what I'm using. As I stated at the start of this video, pretty much any compound will work. This is just what I like to use. It's what I use on paint on my vehicles as well. And I'm using a buffer. You don't need a buffer. You could just use microfiber towels or just a little bit more elbow grease, but you'll be able to get the same results. Just going to take my pad that I have on here off because this is for the polish, which is the next step after compound. Put my compound pad on here. Now, stuff out of the way. Just going to take this, give it a good shake, mix it up, and I'm gonna do is put a few dabs on the headlight itself and grab buffer. Make sure it's on all the way. And before you even turn it on, just kind of dab polish around the headlight. Now I turn it on, just buff away. After you make sure it's plugged in. Okay, how about now? There we go. That should be good. Now, just take a clean microfiber towel, wipe off excess. Looking pretty nice. And still a little bit of a haze to it. Polish will take that down even more. So, next step, polish. Now, I take this pad off my buffer, put wherever it is, my polishing pad back on the buffer. These are just different pads because I've already used them for the other headlight and you don't want to mix polish and compound. So compound is basically just a cream that has a little bit of grit to it, fine grit, and then polish is the same thing, but it's even finer than compound. So Meguiar's Ultimate Polish, again, good shake. And same thing as with the compound. Put a few dabs on the headlight itself. And again, before turning it on, just kind of watch it around on the headlight and polish away. Good. I take another cloth and just wipe her down, get all the excess off. So now this is pretty much your final product, other than a wax or a protectant of some sorts. Again, it's not perfect. Still has a little haze to it, but it's 100 times better than it was before. So now, like I said, I'm using my mother's ceramic coating. Shake, got a new microfiber towel. And then just, if it doesn't clog up on me, man. Okay, I guess it's gonna clog up on me. Oh, we got one spray, that should be good enough to do the headlight. And just wipe that over the whole headlight. Do the sides too if you want. I'm going to. Then let that sit for 30 seconds or so. Just let it kind of bond to the surface of the new paint you got on there. And then you just buffer off and pretty much good to go. Obviously, if you're using a normal wax, you'd buff it on, let it dry to a haze, and then buff it off. But this stuff, you just kind of let it sit for 20-30 seconds and then buff it off. I'm thinking this headlight even came out better than the other one. The other one might have been a little worse, oxidized a little worse. And voila, there we are, finished product. Grab the other one over here. Yeah, I think this one came out even better than the other one. Here is our finished product. Again, it's not perfect, still has a little bit of a haze to it. It's definitely better than this one though, I think. Because the driver's side one, I think, still has a little bit more haze than the passenger side. Must have done a better job on the passenger side. That just goes to show you what I was saying earlier. The better you do your sanding, the better the headlight's going to come out. So I obviously did a little bit better on this one. But maybe I'll go over this one again. Give it a little bit more of a wet sand, and yeah. Anyways, that's been how to restore your headlights. This will work for basically any headlight that's plastic, and it'll make it look good and keep it looking good for a long time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Consider subscribing to my channel for more how-tos. I'll talk to you all later. Hey, I'm back. I quickly threw the front of the car together because I wanted to see what it looked like with the new headlights in it now, and I figured I might as well show you guys what it looks like too. I do have a before picture. I'll put it on the screen now, that way you can see it before, and then you can look at this and see what it looks like after. And then, yeah, this grill won't be staying. It'll be getting a Mach 1 like grill delete with the floating pony, and then it'll get a Mach 1 chin spoiler as well. And maybe, haven't decided, maybe fog lights. Haven't decided yet. But yeah, obviously I have to get the car running first. I was just doing the headlights because I have nothing else to do on the car right now, and I wanted to do something on it. And I already had all the stuff that I needed to do it. But yeah, anyways, thanks again for watching. Please consider subscribing to keep up to date on this project as it goes along. Have a great day.